Hey Knights, it's so good to see you. Today I'm going to be putting our first read aloud on our new YouTube channel for our reading workshop, and that book is going to be The Boy from the Dragon Palace. This is a Japanese folktale. So before we get started, I want you to think about if you want to respond to any of my questions here today. You might want like a reader's notebook or just a piece of paper. Or if you want to do it like Dora the Explorer style, just say it out loud, loud and proud, in your living room, with your mom, with your sister, brother, even your dog, as we read along to have that thinking going. So, The Boy from the Dragon Palace. Let's get started. A poor flower seller found no one to buy his flowers, so he decided to give them to the Dragon King, who lives beneath the sea. "A gift for you, Dragon King," he called, and he tossed the flowers onto the waves. The water began to swirl. Suddenly, a beautiful lady came up from the sea. She held a little boy in her arms. A thank you from the Dragon King. A little boy as a gift? That's a pretty big gift. The man took the boy. This child had the snottiest nose you ever did see. "What will I do with this snot-nosed boy?" "He will bring you luck," said the beautiful lady, "but you must make shrimp for him every day. Put in vinegar, put in sugar. He likes it like that." And she disappeared beneath the waves. The man carried the boy home and made him some shrimp. He put in vinegar, he put in sugar. "I just spent my last coin on shrimp for you. If you are going to bring me luck, you had better start now." The little boy picked up the bowl, and slurp, he swallowed it all. The little boy set down the bowl. He snuffled his nose on his right sleeve. He snuffled his nose on his left sleeve. Then he blew his nose really hard. Honk, honk, honk. And the floor was covered with gold. Now the flower seller was able to buy rice and fish for himself and more shrimp for the snot-nosed little boy. Now let's stop here for a moment. There is an idea growing for me. If this little boy keeps sniffling and sniffling and brings this man gold, all because he's fed shrimp, I wonder what will happen later. Next day, the flower seller thought, "I wonder if the snot-nosed little boy can provide other things too." That night, when he fed the little boy his shrimp, he said, "This wooden hut is a very poor home. I wish I had a larger house." The snot-nosed little boy picked up the bowl and ate his shrimp. Slurp. Then he snuffled on his right sleeve, he snuffled on his left sleeve, and hunk, 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 the house began to change. Let's pause here. On your reading journal or saying it out loud, I want you to infer what's going to happen in the next part of the story. So pause the video and do your thinking. Let's keep going. The house became a palace. There was rich clothing for the flower seller and silk cushions all about. That night when he fed the snot-nosed little boy, he said, "It would be nice if I had some servants to take care of this palace and some cooks to prepare my dinner." Slurp, snuffle, snuffle, hunk, hunk, hunk. The door opened and servants marched in. So it seems like this man's getting a little bit more greedy. The next night, the flour seller said to the cook, "You make the shrimp for the snot-nosed little boy." The cook put in vinegar, the cook put in sugar, but the snot-nosed little boy refused to eat. So the flour seller had to make the shrimp himself and feed this snotty child. Uh-oh, what's happening? It seems like this little boy won't eat it unless the flour seller makes it himself. And of course, he thought of something more to ask. It would be wonderful if I had chests full of treasure. Slurp, snuffle, snuffle, hunk, hunk, hunk. And it was done. Every night, the man thought of something else to ask for. A beautiful garden to walk in, a pond with golden fish, dancers to entertain me. Now the flour seller had everything he could possibly want. Still, each day he had to go down to the market, buy shrimp, cook it up, and feed the snot-nosed little boy. What a nuisance this is. I am sick of looking at this snot-nosed little child. I am much too busy to be making shrimp for him every day, and it is so disgusting watching him eat. I want you to pause the video right now after I ask you this question. How is the main character changing? How is the flour seller changing from the beginning of the story? Write down your thinking. Let's keep going. So the flour seller took the snot-nosed little boy out of the palace. He set him down on the road and said, "That's enough with your snotty nose blowing. Go on back to the sea where you belong." Then he went inside and shut his palace gates. The snot-nosed little boy looked at the closed door and sadly shook his head. Then he snuffled on his right sleeve. He snuffled on his left sleeve. And hunk, hunk, hunk. Instantly, the palace disappeared. The garden was gone. There was nothing left but an old wooden hut and a flour seller who was very, very poor. But down in the Dragon King's palace, the snot-nosed little boy was slurping shrimp. "You just can't help some humans," he muttered. So true, said the Dragon King. "They always want something more." The snot-nosed little boy snuffled, and he never once said thank you. And we'll stop there. So, The Boy from the Dragon Palace, a very fun Japanese folktale. Now, if you didn't catch on, a folktale is a story that is passed down from generations and generations, and it usually has a lesson or moral at the end of the story. Now, before I tell you what that lesson is, what that word that I'm not going to reveal just yet, I want you to pause the video, and in the comments below, I want you to write down the theme or message or moral or lesson that you learned from The Boy from the Dragon Palace. So go ahead and pause the video right now and comment down below. And once you do that, what my thinking has brought me to at the end of the story, I'm inferring, which means I'm making an educated guess, that based on my schema, my prior knowledge, and the text evidence of the boy from the Dragon Palace, it seems like you should always be happy with what you have, right? Some things come easy, some things don't. But this flower seller was actually blessed with the gift of pure luck. And all he had to really do was be grateful for what he had to keep adding on to all those prizes and possessions. Yet at the very end, he wasn't very grateful for what he had. And instead of thanking who gave it to him, he shunned him, kicked him out of the palace, and in the end did not end up with anything at all. Now, one of my very favorite quotes from the stories at the very end was when the little boy says, "You just can't help some humans." And that can be true. Sometimes people just have the hardest time being grateful for what they have, and sometimes you have to lose it all before you are grateful. So I hope you'll really enjoyed The Boy from the Dragon Palace. Thanks for checking in on our very first read aloud on our new classroom YouTube channel. Please be sure that you're participating in the comments down below. Any comments that are not leading to the question of the day will be deleted. So if you want to be included, please answer appropriately. And I will see all you knights and visitors very, very soon.